Imagine a medieval peasant, kneeling in the mud, handing over his harvest to a lord just for the privilege of existing on land he will never own. Tragic, right? Well, do not laugh too hard, because that peasant is you. Cut to the present day, and you are smiling while you swipe your credit card for Netflix, for Tinder, and even paying a monthly fee just to activate the heated seats in a BMW you supposedly bought. The modern world whispers a seductive lie in your ear. They say ownership is a burden. They say just subscribe, it is cheaper, it is convenient, and you can leave whenever you want. That is the single greatest con of 21st century capitalism. You are not a savvy consumer. You are a new kind of serf. You are paying rent just to live your own life. In this video, I am going to prove it with cold hard math. The subscription model was not designed to serve you. It was designed to turn your wallet into an infinite blood supply flowing directly to Wall Street. Look at this chart. Really look at it. It does not depict a rocket launch. It depicts the explosion of the subscription economy. We have gone from a global market of $600 billion to a multi-trillion-dollar empire in the blink of an eye. To understand the magnitude of this robbery, we need to travel back to the ancient history of 2012. Back then, if you wanted to use Photoshop, Adobe would sell you a box for about $600. You handed over the cash, they handed over the disk, and the transaction was over. You owned it. But look at Adobe today. That option has been erased from existence. Now you pay $50 a month forever. If you stop paying, the software stops working. Over 10 years, that's not $600, that's $6,000. You are paying 10 times more for the privilege of owning absolutely nothing. So why did the entire economy shift this way? The answer is brutally simple: saturation. Take a look at Apple. There are only so many human beings on Earth, and most of them already have a smartphone. Apple cannot sell another iPhone to someone who is already holding one. When you can no longer grow by selling more units, you have to change the game. You have to extract more money from the customers you already have. This is why your phone screams at you that your storage is full, forcing you into iCloud. This is why they push Apple Music and Apple TV. This is the pivot from selling products to selling software as a service. The corporate world had an epiphany. They realized that the old model of selling you something once was actually stupid. It was a bad business model. Why let you pay once and be happy when they could force you to rent your lifestyle for eternity? They realized that a one-time sale is a failure, but a lifetime subscription is a license to print money. So how does this trap actually work? Think of the old economy like buying a massive steak dinner. You pay, you eat until you are full, the chef gets paid, and the transaction is closed. But the subscription model is not a meal. It's an IV drip hooked straight into your arm. Except instead of pumping life-saving fluids in, it's slowly draining your blood out. Every 30 days, click, another $9.99 leaves your account. It's such a small amount that you don't even feel the needle prick. It doesn't hurt like dropping $1,000 all at once. But that's the point. You're bleeding out slowly, drop by drop, until you are financially anemic.
This system is engineered using a concept called the pain of paying. If a company asks you for $120 upfront for a year of service, your brain lights up with warning signals. That is expensive. That is a week of groceries. But if they break it down to $10 a month, your brain relaxes. It feels like pocket change. It feels harmless. Even though the math is identical, the psychological friction disappears. They are hacking your perception of value to make you thank them while they pick your pocket. And then we have the breakage model. This is the industry secret they do not talk about in the commercials. These companies are betting on your failure. They are banking on your laziness and your terrible memory. They know you will sign up for the free trial and forget to cancel. They know you have subscriptions running right now that you have not touched in 6 months. Look at Planet Fitness. They have millions of members, and most of them never set foot in the gym. In fact, if everyone who paid actually showed up, Their business model would collapse instantly because the buildings would physically explode. They do not get rich by providing a service. They get rich by taxing your neglect. You are literally paying a monthly fine for being a procrastinator. But who is actually pulling the strings here? It's not the software engineers trying to make your life easier. The real villains are sitting in high-rise offices on Wall Street and in private equity firms. They have rigged the game using a concept known as valuation multiples. Here's how the math of greed works. If a company makes $1 million by selling products one time, investors give it a low value because they do not know if those customers will ever come back. It's risky, it's unpredictable. But if that same company generates $1 million in annual recurring revenue, or ARR, the market loses its mind. They will value that company 10 times higher. Suddenly, a boring business becomes a unicorn. This creates a perverse incentive structure. CEOs are under massive pressure to convert everything into a subscription service, not because it benefits you, but because it pumps up the stock price and secures their multi-million-dollar bonuses. That is the only reason BMW thought it was a good idea to charge you $18 a month for heated seats that were already physically built into the car. That is why HP treats you like a criminal if you do not pay your ink tax, disabling the printer you legally bought. They're not selling you a service, they are farming you for predictable revenue to please their shareholders. And the plot twist is getting darker. This infection is spreading from software to hardware. They call it the Internet of Things, but it's really the Internet of Traps. We are entering an era where you pay thousands of dollars for a smart fridge, a thermostat, or even a tractor, but you never actually own it. You just own the plastic shell. The corporation retains ownership of the brain, the software that makes it run. This gives them a kill switch. If you stop paying the subscription, or if you try to repair it yourself, they can lock you out of your own property. Your $2,000 appliance becomes a useless brick until you pay the ransom. This is not just about money anymore, it's about control. Let us take a break from the emotions and look at the cold, hard math of your servitude. We're going to calculate the lifetime cost of not owning anything. Take Spotify, for example. You pay $15 a month for a family plan. It feels negligible, but if you pay that for 40 years of your adult life, that's $7,200. And at the end of that 40-year tunnel, you own exactly 0 songs. In the old days, you paid $10 for a CD, and it was yours until the plastic disintegrated. You could sell it, trade it, or listen to it without an internet connection. Now, you're paying the price of a used car just to rent access to music that can be taken away from you at any moment.
But if you think losing your music collection is bad, wait until you hear about the ultimate trap: housing. We are witnessing the rise of the build-to-rent model. Giant investment funds like BlackRock and Vanguard are sweeping into neighborhoods and buying up single-family homes by the thousands. They are not buying them to sell to young families. They are buying them to turn shelter into a subscription service. They want a world where you never hold the deed to your home. The consequences of this are terrifying. Home ownership is the primary way middle-class people build wealth. It is called equity. When you rent, your equity is 0. You are paying someone else's mortgage. Think about what happens when you retire. When you stop working, the income stops. If you own your home, you are safe. If you are stuck in a subscription for shelter and you cannot make the monthly payment, you are on the street. This is not a business model, it is a threat to your survival. So here is my advice. Perform a ruthless audit of your life tonight. Cancel every subscription that is not keeping you alive. Prioritize the buy it for life philosophy. Buy physical tools, buy durable goods, and use open source software. Stop feeding the beast that wants to eat your future. You have almost certainly heard the infamous prediction from the World Economic Forum. They looked into the crystal ball and told us you will own nothing and you will be happy. It sounds nice, doesn't it? A utopian dream where you are burdened by nothing. But after seeing the charts and understanding the predatory math behind the scenes, I need to correct that slogan for you. You will own nothing and you will be miserable. There is a fundamental truth that these corporate overlords want you to forget.
True freedom is inextricably linked to private property. Ownership is the only shield you have against chaos. When you own your home, your car, and your data, you have a fortress. But when you trade that ownership for the cheap convenience of a monthly fee, you are tearing down your own walls. You are voluntarily signing a contract that makes you a perpetual guest in your own existence. You're handing the power of self-determination over to a risk management algorithm in a server room somewhere in Silicon Valley. You are no longer a citizen, you are a variable in a spreadsheet. If that algorithm decides you are a liability, or if you violate a user agreement you never read, they can pull the plug. They can shut off your heat, lock your car, and delete your digital memories. That is not happiness. That is dependency. That is modern serfdom wearing a tech-savvy disguise. So here is the only button I want you to press with intention. Do not just mindlessly subscribe to this channel like a zombie. I want you to own this information. Take it, internalize it, and use it to break the chains. I am the Cynical Insider, and I will see you in the next lesson on how the world really works.